Okay, all right, good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
Thank you. Today, I'm going to do something with you that unfortunately will not be that much fun, but is absolutely vital. So, bear with me. We are going to make sure that you can all demonstrate command of standard English punctuation, okay? So by the end of the class, we will all be here. We can use semicolons and colons in our classwork. That specifically means your essays. That band under conventions where it says expressive language, very sentence structure, this is how you will get that. This is how you will improve your scores, okay? And as we continue with this skill, we're eventually going to get to the point where we can recognize and analyze punctuation in others' writings. You understand that? Awesome. Okay, so specifically we're going to be going through a couple of worksheets today. This first one is on semicolons. So can anyone tell me, just raise your hand if you would say that you are already at a 3 on this scale on using semicolons. Yeah, we've got some maybes, some ifs, ands, or buts. Okay. Who thinks that we're at a 2, that we can identify but not fix errors? More hands. Okay, good. By the end of the day, we're going to all be at that 3. I promise. So, there are 2 rules that we're going to keep in mind. Can we all read this?
Yeah.
Yes? Okay, awesome. There are 2 rules that we want to keep in mind when we're going through this first set of questions. So, you use a semicolon between independent clauses. Can someone tell me what an independent clause is? Michelle?
I think it's like whenever you, like by itself, it's a proper sentence.
Yeah, that's I think a fairly good definition. It's a sentence, it's a clause that can stand on its own. So what I just said, a clause that can stand on its own is an independent clause. That's good, I like that definition. So you use a semicolon between independent clauses that are closely related in thought and that are not joined by a coordinating conjunction. Now they knew that this might be a tough term, so they labeled it out for you. Have any of us heard fanboys before?
Yeah.
Okay, it's a good way to remember your coordinating conjunctions. For, and, but, everything you see here. So the example of how to use this rule. I was happy about the trip, semicolon, Nepal had always appealed to me. So do you see how those are 2 independent thoughts? I was happy about the trip, Nepal had always appealed to me. They're connected by that semicolon, okay? And then we have a second rule that we're going to use today. You use a semicolon between independent clauses, which thanks to Michelle we now all know, joined by a conjunctive adverb or a transitional expression. So here are 2 examples of each of these. I was tired, conjunctive adverb, therefore I stopped to rest. Transitional expression. Pang is a great runner, semicolon, in fact, he's unbeatable. Okay? This will make more sense as we go through these. So we're going to do the first couple as a class right now. So, one side was willing to negotiate. However, the other side refused. I think I may have given it away the way that I just said that. Would someone like to venture a guess as to where the semicolon goes there?
After negotiate?
After negotiate, one side was willing to negotiate, however, the other side refused. Yeah, you're right. You want to tell me why?
Because it connects like that they wanted to negotiate like side did.
Fantastic. So you're connecting independent clauses? Awesome. Okay, number 2. Miss Kyung is a fantastic teacher. That is, she's my favorite. Who would like to take a guess? I think I saw your hand first, Andy.
After teacher.
After a teacher is a fantastic teacher, that is? Yep. Good job. All right. So it seems to me that we might be closer to 3 than we thought. Now, this final one before we move into our small groups. Adjust the dial carefully. The mechanism is sensitive.
Carefully.
After carefully. So adjust the dial carefully, semicolon, the mechanism is sensitive. Yes. Now, how did you know that? Because we didn't have our however, or that is, or our little giveaway.
Oh, it's because by themselves those two can go without being split up.
Independent clauses?
Yes.
Awesome. All right. Yeah, you followed, you used the rule, you've got it. I like to see that. Okay. So we are going to spend, I believe, about 10 minutes going through the remainder of these, and then we'll come back together as a group and make sure all of our answers are correct. Do I have any questions there? No? All right, wonderful. So let's try and finish this worksheet now, and I'll come around and help. You can work in your small groups. You don't need to do this alone. You're already supposed to do it.
Yeah.
We're doing pretty well here.
Indeed, I recognize.
I will tell you that this is a good strategy. Saying it out loud can help you figure out where you would naturally pause. Because a lot of the time that semicolon is kind of going to take the place of a pause in speech. Okay? So I like to do that. Where to put it? Awesome. Yes, Nathan.
Can there be two semicolons in one sentence?
Ah, okay, so we finally got the, I'm assuming, well, tell me which sentence you're on.
10.
10, yes, there can be. All right, did we all hear that?
Yes.
Now, some of them will have more than one semicolon, okay? I believe there are 2 in this worksheet that will.
Yeah.
So yes, good question, there can be.
Beep and buzz, and then buzz.
I'll explain that one after we go over this. Okay. Can I see a quick hand raise to see who's still working? Cool, all right, well, we've got over 7 minutes. I was just trying to get a feel for class. Carl bumps glasses, elbow the glasses before moves spread in all directions.
Number 10, the fact that you beef.
There is more I've over yet, so just worry about some explanations now. Are we helping our teammates? Yes, yes. Two glasses before moves spread in all directions. Yeah, that's great. You can kind of, you heard what I was saying earlier with the Antoinette. If you say the sentence out loud, it can give you a little bit of clue, because it's kind of where you can naturally pause. So it's a good way that when you ask that, to you pause there, that's part of one of the ways, other than just what the, yeah. Would you prefer go to? So, do you have one of your, giveaways there?
The dog lay down and stuff for that sound.
I wouldn't say interchangeable, but that's good critical thinking. In a lot of instances you can, but it's kind of a stylistic choice. Therefore, that's a kind of a strong word to use. And knowing the difference between when to just use a semicolon and when to use one of those is a great way to get a little higher on that band for your GP test. That's a good question. Can I get a hand for those of us who are still working? Good, okay, we got plenty of time. No, do not do the back yet. We're going to go over that as a class. If you want to look at it, I'm certainly not going to complain, but we usually go over it. That was a little fun. How are we doing over here? Anybody still working? Alright, let's see what we got. Where are we? 17? Okay, good. Did you remember Nathan's question? I believe it might come in handy here. Alright. How are we doing? Did I hear we're done? Yay! Happy to hear that. Well, that's why we're going to do more. The next side will require a little more. But we're going to introduce that, so don't worry about it yet. And I think I still see some pens moving, so we've got another minute. Awesome. Okay, hands up. Anybody still working? Does this mean we're all finished?
Yes.
All right, guys. Music to my ears. Let's try and see what our answers were. So, I will replace this with my little cheat sheet. Oop, I just locked this. If you would, I'll bring it back in a minute. So we did up to 3 as a class, right? You know what? I'm gonna take this back real quick. Somebody tell me where the semicolon goes in 4. Sorry? Oh no, thank you very much. See, that's the honor system. I'm happy with that. Okay. So, I see your hand up for 4, Nathan?
Yeah.
Okay, where?
Guadalupe Ranch, Ford, home plate, and then right there. After plate, before her.
Awesome, thank you. Okay, 5. I was disappointed in the play. In other words, it was terrible. Can we hear some other voices? Aaron?
I was disappointed in the play, semicolon. In other words, it was terrible.
Fantastic. 6. Let's try and blow through these. The novel is set in my hometown. Indeed, I recognize several places. Yes.
After hometown.
After hometown. Awesome. Okay, 7. Nathan again.
The shrub has a strong scent, and between scent and it.
Okay, thank you. 8. Yeah, Antoinette?
After job.
After job. All right, we did really well with these. So is anybody starting to think they're closer to 3 than 2 now?
Yes.
Because it seems like we're all blowing through this pretty quickly. Where were we? I believe 9?
Yeah.
9. Yes, Lean.
After tears.
After tears. Fantastic. All right. Now, Nathan, I'm going to call on you for this one. Oh, no. Actually, it's Zimba.
Okay, after beat and after buzz.
After beat and after buzz. That's our first multi-semicolon. And we're confident in that answer?
Yes.
You should be. That's the correct answer. 11. Nathan again. Yes.
After World War II.
After World War II. Okay, I think I'm going to start calling on some people. So 12. Raise a hand or you may be called on. Jose.
It's after television.
After television. Thank you, sir. All right, 13.
After broke.
Thank you. See, if you would have just volunteered. 14. Not that table. Ashley. 14.
After frightened.
After frightened. Thank you very much. Were you frightened to give that answer? Sorry, I had to have a dumb joke. 15. Brain start check, please. We'd like to go. I see a lot of hands. Maria. After, please. Yes, ma'am. 16. Oh, I heard an O. Oh, they. Okay. Brown.
Who?
Or, sorry.
Nap. After nap. After nap.
After nap. Yes, thank you very much. 17. Who wants to go? Yes.
After elbow and after floor.
After elbow and after floor. Fantastic. 18. I haven't talked to you in a while, Nathan. 18.
After birthday.
After birthday. Awesome. All right. 19. Lean.
After book.
After book. Fantastic. Nancy, close it out. 20. Jose again.
After table.
After table. All right. We blew through that. I'm really starting to think we have more C's or 3's in here than we think. Now, where is my one without the answers? Okay. We are going to move on to C. We are going to be using the same 2 rules that I just introduced to you guys. We're going to add 2 new rules here. So, we have the same rules that we just went over, 27A and 27B, and now we are adding 27C. A semicolon in place of a comma may be needed before a coordinating conjunction, and remember a coordinating conjunction is our fanboys,
Yes.
to join independent clauses, which we know thanks to Michelle, that contain commas, okay? And that'll be clear as we move through the examples. And then 27D, use a semicolon between items in a series if the items contain commas. That's going to be really important for 10. Please keep that in mind for exercise 10. Okay? So now let's move through a couple of these as a group. The Nal Saravar Bird Sanctuary in India attracts cranes, ducks, pelicans, ibises, and storks, and the Ran of Kakkacha, I'm not sure how to pronounce that, a vast Indian salt marsh is the nesting ground of flamingos. So, who wants to be bold and try and use our 2 new rules to answer this one? That's okay. An incorrect answer is just a step closer to the correct answer. Yes.
After tracks.
After where?
The tracks.
After attracts. Okay, I can see, because you're saying that because that's kind of an independent clause?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see your logic there, but that's not quite right. So let's try and go a little bit closer. Nathan?
After India.
After India, we're still thinking towards the independent clauses. I can tell you guys that this one uses one of the new rules. If you would like, I can point us in the right direction. You would like to try again first?
Yeah.
Actually, Jose? Oh.
Is it after sanctuary?
After sanctuary. See, we're closing in, but you guys need to think of this as 2 sets of separated lists, kind of. So, did that clarify it? Can you try, Jensen?
Is it after the second and, or like and sort?
After or before?
Like after sort.
After storks? absolutely. Thank you. Well, we'll call on you next. Do you want to answer why? Yes, thank you. So the Nal Saravar Bird Sanctuary in India attracts cranes, ducks, pelicans, ibises, and storks. And the Ran of Kakkacha, A vast Indian salt marsh is the nesting ground of flamingos. So you've got two closely related independent clauses because they are about birds. However, they need to be set off with that semicolon. So now let's move on to number 2. Both offshore and inland fishing are good. Salmon, tuna, and pomfret can all be caught. And I should note that in the instructions it says if a sentence is correct, write C before the numeral. I probably just gave the answer away, but would someone like to try it? Would someone like to? Okay, Nathan?
But it's the answer.
I wonder how you knew that. Yes.
Genius.
Yes, okay, so both offshore and inland fishing are good. Salmon, tuna, and pomfret can all be caught. You do not need a semicolon there. They used a colon, or a semicolon already to introduce their list. So let's try this third one before we finish off. A variety of ethnic groups can be found in Guajara. Indeed, the region includes Indic, Dravidian, and Aboriginal peoples. Your hand shot right up. Actually, I'm sorry, I've been talking a lot. Andy, would you try?
After Gujarat.
After Gujarat? Do you want to explain why? Or are you just happy with having a correct answer? Yes, sir. Thank you very much. Okay, so we remember that some of these may be correct, and we can write a C next to the numeral, and I will be moving around. We're going to try and finish this as a group. Fantastic. Okay. It's 1:19, so I don't have the timer, but I'll close this up at 1:29.
Yeah.
It is harder. That's why we're moving along. So we're all at our 3 on the scale with the first side, but we're trying to increase our skills. So what's your first review? Which one? Okay, so let's try and figure out where would you place it? Where would you guess? After, however, before? Yes, thank you. See, we have that little kind of giveaway. When you see however or therefore, that's usually going to glue in here. Well, this is kind of like the first one that we were doing, where it's kind of 2 separated lists. So notice the kinds of lists. Did I see a hand over here?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Yes, thank you. Okay, so twice in a row, you have pointed it out. A couple of these will have more than one.
But, can you help us if we ask?
Which one are we on? Number 5. I will tell you that one does not have more than one semicolon. That's been a sticking point all day. Yes. Tell me why. That is technically a correct answer. Try and look for the explanation on.
I know, she knows because she told me.
All right. So why did we place it after red? Kelly, why did we place it after rice? I'm sorry, on 5. Why did we place it after rice? Yeah. But good job on that one too.
And they do something else too, right?
Thank you.
Blah, blah, blah,
So,
blah, and blah, blah, blah.
yeah, how many lists are in number 5? 2. There's staple food crops, and then a list, and then cash crops and a list. So does that make sense to us now?
Yeah.
Awesome. How are we doing over here? Yeah. 8 and 10. Okay, so where do you think the issue is? They try and look for an incorrect list. Well, you have a list here, right? What is being listed? The rulers of Guajara, right? I think it's Guajara. So you've got Arabic, Muslim, Mughal, Maratha, and British rulers. That's a list, right? Do you have different kinds of lists or just one kind of list? So do you need a semicolon? So what would that be? That would be correct. All right, I like to see that. Now with 10, this is the one that Nathan was talking about that will have more than one semicolon. So do you see how this is a list that only has one kind of thing listed? Tell me how this